Fáilte Cáide Gael, Tásúla Gom go bhfuil se bhílig ar fónamh. Hello everyone, I hope you're all well. Welcome to the Portlaw Easter Commemoration hosted by the Keating and Commemoration. Let me start by extending the solidarity of our Commemoration to all the families of our patriot dead. Easter holds a special place in the hearts of all Republicans, and today we remember the women and men of 1916 and the part they played in the cause for Irish freedom. As it's the 40th anniversary of the hunger strikers of 1981, we shall also remember them in this video. David Cumann will say the oration, followed by Ben Duggan reading the East Waterford Roll of Honour. Mick Lacey will then read the proclamation. We will be laying a wreath on the grave of Maurice McGrath, known as the Bogman, and also on the grave of Pat Keating. Our Commemoration was founded in 1981, and one of the founding members is called Jackie Whalen. Jackie has been an inspiration to all Commemoration members with his passion and dedication to the Republican cause. I hope you feel better soon, Jackie, and we're all looking forward to meeting up in person as soon as possible. We will start now with David Cumann, TD.
I want to welcome you all to the annual Sinn Féin commemoration of the 1916 Rising, organised by the Keating and Commemoration in Portlaw. And I want to pay tribute to all of the Sinn Féin members in the Portlaw area for the huge work that they do for their communities, and also for remembering the sacrifices that so many Irish Republicans made down through the generations in the cause of Irish freedom. And it is very important that every year we reflect back on the sacrifices that were made by those volunteers in 1916 and the men and the women of that generation who took the fight to the British Empire. The leaders of the 1916 Rising are still an inspiration to us all. They gave us the 1916 Proclamation, which is as relevant today as it was when it was first written. It promised the ownership of Ireland to the people of Ireland. It promised that all children would be treated equally. It promised us a real republic, a 32-county republic. And that is what those men and women went into the GPO and fought and died for during the course of the 1916 Rising. So of course we should commemorate and remember all of those who sacrificed and all of those who lost their lives. I also want to remember the two individuals that the Keating and Commemoration was named after. Pat Keating, who received his injuries in the Burgery in 1921 on the 19th of March. It's the 100th anniversary of that ambush, the Burgery ambush. And Pat was one of those who lost his life during that ambush. So this year especially, we remember Pat Keating, who the Keating and Commemoration is named after. We also, of course, remember all of the hunger strikers, and indeed Bobby Sands, whom the Commemoration is named after, on their 40th anniversary of the H-Block protests. And we know the hunger strikers were also a huge inspiration for our generation of Republicans, and for those who look back not just on the leaders of 1916, but also on the hunger strikers who we draw inspiration from and have drawn inspiration from for a long number of years. Bobby Sands was a freedom fighter. Bobby Sands was somebody who also took the fight to the British Empire. And he was also somebody who was not going to allow our political opponents to criminalise the Republican struggle. And that's what Margaret Thatcher tried to do during the hunger strikes. So I think it is very important that this year we remember both Pat Keating and also Bobby Sands, whom the Portlaw Sinn Féin Commemoration is named after. I also want to say a hello to Jackie Whalen. Jackie is a long-standing member of Sinn Féin in the Portlaw area. He's not well at the moment, and we all wish Jackie a very, very strong recovery. For many, many years, I attended the commemorations outside the church in Portlaw, and Jackie's stirring words and his speeches at the graveside of Maurice McGrath were hugely influential in shaping my politics, and I'm sure in shaping the politics of the members of the Commemoration in Portlaw as well. So we wish Jackie well. He's a staunch member of the party, a staunch Republican, has always been a Republican, and we wish him the speediest of recoveries. So I want to wish everybody well over the Easter period. This has been a very difficult year for everybody, but it again shows that we need to continue with the struggle for Irish freedom. We need to continue with the struggle for a just and a fair society. We saw how our health service was again left exposed this year because of underinvestment, and the difficulties and the challenges that presents for those on the front line. We know that we have a housing crisis that will only be dealt with if we have a Sinn Féin government, where we are committed to delivering affordable and social homes for people in this state. We will only ever have a free and also a fair society if we fight for it, if we're prepared to campaign for it, if we're prepared to work towards the objectives of the leaders of 1916, which is to bring about an independent socialist republic. So together we continue with our work. We have to make sure that the legacy of the leaders of 1916, and indeed the legacy of the leaders of the hunger strikes in 1981 and the protests in the H blocks at that time, are remembered by building the republic that they fought and died for. And I want to finish, because we're in the 40th anniversary of the hunger strikes, and because the Keating Sands Cumann is obviously named after Bobby Sands, I want to quote a couple of verses from a poem that Bobby Sands wrote when he was dying in the H blocks in 1981, and a couple of verses of that poem. It is found in every light of hope. It knows no bounds nor space. It has risen in red and black and white. It is there in every race. It lies in the hearts of our heroes dead. It screams in tyrants' eyes. It has reached the peaks of mountains high as it comes searing across the skies. It lights the dark of my prison cell. It thunders forth with might. It is the undauntable thought, my friend, that thought which says I'm right. And we know Bobby Sands was right. We know the leaders of the 1916 Rising were right. We know that Maurice McGrath, who we will lay a wreath on his grave this year, was right. We know all of the Republicans who sacrificed and gave so much over the course of many years in the fight for Irish freedom were right. And we will continue on their journey and our journey to build a united Ireland, a free Ireland, a democratic one, and one that is socially just for all our citizens, and one that does justice to the proclamation of 1916. Garmila Magwiv Galer.
Michael McGrath, Waterford, age 27, fed at Ballinatton, January the 7th, 1921. Thomas O'Brien, Downhill, age 24, fed at Ballinatton, January the 7th, 1921. John O'Rourke, Waterford, age 23, died of wounds at Risk, May the 28th, 1921. Maurice McGrath, Rath, Carrickbeg, age 37, fed at Carrick-on-Shore, July 1922. John Doyle, Waterford, age 22, died of wounds, Waterford, August the 5th, 1922. John Dobbin, Butlerstown, age 24, fed at Cummer, August the 14th, 1922. Jack Edwards, Waterford, age 22, fed at Kilkenny Jail, August the 19th, 1922. Thomas Kennedy, Rathgormick, age 20, fed at Golden, July the 22nd, 1922. Andrew Power, Ballygunner Castle, age 24, fed at Kilkenny Jail, January the 28th, 1923. Michael Maloney, Waterford, age 17, fell at Polbury, February the 9th, 1923. Thomas Welsh, Waterford, age 23, fell at Polbury, February the 9th, 1923. John Walsh, Kilmacthomas, age 23, fell in Kilkenny Jail, March the 14th, 1923. And Robert Clancy, Waterford, died in military hospital, Cora internment camp, June the 12th, 1941.
Poblack na HÉireann, the Provisional Government of the Irish Republic, to the people of Ireland. Irish men and Irish women, in the name of God and of the dead generations from which she receives her old tradition of nationhood. Ireland, through us, summons her children to her flag and strikes for her freedom. Having organised and trained her manhood through her secret revolutionary organisation, the Irish Republican Brotherhood, and through our open military organisations, the Irish Volunteers and the Irish Citizen Army. Having patiently perfected her discipline, having resolutely waited for the right moment to reveal itself, she now seizes that moment and, supported by our exiled children in America and by gallant allies in Europe, but relying in the first on her own strength, she strikes in full confidence of victory. We declare the right of the people of Ireland to the ownership of Ireland and to the unfettered control of Irish destinies, to be sovereign and indefeasible. The long usurpation of that right by a foreign people and government has not extinguished the right, nor can it ever be extinguished, except by the destruction of the Irish people. In every generation, the Irish people have asserted their right to national freedom and sovereignty. 6 times during the last 300 years, they have asserted it to arms. Standing on that fundamental right, and again asserting it in arms in the face of the world, we hereby proclaim the Irish Republic as a sovereign, independent state. And we pledge our lives and the lives of our comrades in arms to the cause of its freedom, of its welfare, and of its exaltation among the nations. The Irish Republic is entitled to, and hereby claims, the allegiance of every Irish man and Irish woman. The Republic guarantees religious and civil liberty, equal rights and equal opportunities to all its citizens, and declares its resolve to pursue the happiness and prosperity of the whole nation and of all its parts. Cherishing all of the children of the nation equally and oblivious of the differences carefully fostered by an alien government which have divided a minority from the majority in the past, until our arms have brought the opportune moment for the establishment of a permanent national representative of the whole people of Ireland and elected by the suffrages of all our men and women. The provisional government hereby constituted will administer the civil and military affairs of the Republic in trust for the people. We place the cause of the Irish Republic under the protection of the Most High God, whose blessing we invoke upon our arms, and we pray that no one who serves that cause will dishonour it by cowardice, inhumanity, or rapine. In this supreme hour, the Irish nation must, by its valour and discipline, and by the readiness of its children to sacrifice themselves for the common good, prove itself worthy of the august destiny to which it is called. Signed on behalf of the Provisional Government, Tomás J. Clark, Sean McDermott, Tomás McDonough, P.H. Pearce, Eamon Cant, James Conley, Joseph Plunkett.
This year marks the 40th anniversary of the 1981 hunger strike. Many believe that their deaths were a watershed in the present struggle in the war for freedom. Like many Republicans before and since that made the ultimate sacrifice, their legacy lives on. Bobby Sands died on the 5th of May 1981 after 66 days on hunger strike.
Francis Hughes died on the 12th of May 1981 after 59 days on hunger strike.
Raymond McCreesh died 21st of May 1981 after 61 days on hunger strike.
Patsy O'Hara died on the 21st of May 1981 after 61 days on hunger strike.
Joe McDonnell died on the 8th of July 1981 after 61 days on hunger strike.
Martin Thorson, who died on the 13th of July 1981 after 46 days on hunger strike.
Kevin Lynch died on the 1st of August 1981 after 71 days on hunger strike.
Kieran Doherty died on the 2nd of August 1981, 73 days into his hunger strike.
4 Thomas McElwee boss are up to Law Lunasa, Milan Cade are up to a Hain, Thresh, Shaskadola are on Stalkokras.
Mickey Devine died on the 20th of August 1981 after 60 days on hunger strike.
Before we finish, Bawallam Buekas Agal, the Gachaini Akarik Lish and Commemoration the Blinta News. I'd like to thank everyone who helped with this commemoration down through the years. I also want to thank everybody who helped create this virtual commemoration, especially David for his oration. And while I have the opportunity, I would like to say a big thank you to the Carrick-on-Show Republican Flute Band, who have been an important part of our celebrations over the years. We will finish with the national anthem sung by Kevin O'Driscoll with some photos of times past. Slán, and I look forward to seeing you all next year.
Sheena Fina Fall, and Sophia O'Hagan, we North Lou,